Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here and welcome to another video. And in today's video we're going to look at potential ways that the Wyatt Sicks faction can be booked. Uncle Howdy's new faction, how it can be booked moving forward, and not just short term as well, looking at longer term booking. After all, we love a bit of long term storytelling. As always, the devil is in the details. Now, as always in every video, you're free to get down in the comments section and share your thoughts and opinions, your theories. How would you like to see the Wyatt Sicks faction booked moving forward? Now, this is just my personal opinion, so join in the comments and let's share an opinion on this, right? Now, first and foremost, the debut of the Wyatt Sicks was absolutely incredible. WWE, even in just the 2 weeks, well, 2 to 3 weeks they've been given with this Wyatt Sicks faction, they've absolutely nailed it, in my opinion. The presentation, the aura that this faction has, it feels big deal. I mean, the very fact that Michael Cole and co are talking about this, like, they are genuinely concerned, probably terrified at the same time, the fact that this faction can turn up anytime, any place. And of course, this faction have got the likes of Chad Gable and potentially Jey Uso on tenterhooks, and it's awesome to see because you never truly know what's coming next. Now, overall, if we're just going to look at like an overall booking scenario moving forward, I think this faction is just going to be a dominant mid to upper card faction. They are going to be a huge part of events such as Survivor Series War Games. I mean, how could they not be? And I'm pretty sure they're going to have a major spot on this year's card. So first and foremost, faction wise, they're going to be mega. They're going to be a big deal. They're going to be remembered forever. They're going to go on and forge their own legacy and make Bray Wyatt proud. So this new family will kill it. But there's obviously going to be loads of individual storylines relating to each individual character. And we're already seeing that. The origins of these characters from the VHS taped video recordings of Bo Dallas basically becoming Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy is like his alter ego now, and in a way he takes orders from that darker side of his psyche, and I absolutely love that they're explaining that. And I think in the next few weeks we're gonna see the other characters of the Firefly Funhouse, Bray Wyatt's creative genius, come to life, and the origins of their stories and how they become the darkest versions they've ever been. And then obviously over time this will feed into inevitably Alexa Bliss. I do believe Alexa Bliss is going to be a huge part of this faction, and that she's going to be the 6th member of the Wyatt Sicks. But that's going to come maybe down the line when we've got all these backstories in the lead up to telling that story in its full entirety, because there's a huge relationship between Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt from the past, and you can't just dash past that. You've got to explore that in as much detail as you can up until the present day. Now, at the moment, there is a very specific target that the Wyatt Sicks have in Chad Gable. They are not happy at the fact that he stopped saying thank you and in a way was a bully to his Alpha Academy family. Chad Gable is trying to correct some wrongs, but it's not working for him. It's not going down well, is it? I mean, that man is literally terrified at the prospect of the Wyatt Sicks attacking him once more. And so, in parallel with that, we've also got the whole Jey Uso scenario. Jey Uso did claim that he had the Fireflies, right? He did claim that he was the Yeeter of Worlds. Is he going to regret saying that? Is there going to be some continuation in terms of storyline perspective involving the Wyatt Sicks and Jey Uso? Now, personally, I don't think so. I think Jey Uso is just such a massively over babyface, and his entrance is just something you go to a WWE show just to watch. So I don't think they're actually going to target Jey Uso, but I think there'll be some form of indirect reference in relation to that. They can't just ignore that. It'll be like almost a warning. But look at the way Jey Uso reacted. He gave back the Fireflies and he embraced them when he had them as well and got emotional because of it. It just wouldn't make sense for the Wyatt Sicks to go after him. But Chad Gable, on the other hand, is going to pay. Now, in terms of characters and storyline angles and characters that the Wyatt Sicks could target, one at the very top of my list is CM Punk. And you might think, why? why go after CM Punk? CM Punk is in a massive feud with Drew McIntyre. Yes, at the moment, but down the line, let's not forget Husky Harris and the new Nexus initiation. When CM Punk got all the members of the new Nexus to smack Husky Harris over the back with a belt 3 times. When it came to CM Punk, he did not hit Husky Harris 3 times. He annihilated him with that belt. He downgraded him. He got him to take his top off in front of the others. Surely the family in the Wyatt Sicks are not going to forget that. When you think they're honouring the legacy of Bray Wyatt, following the words of the Red, why would they not rewrite that wrong from the past? And also when you look at the character CM Punk, he is a bit of a hypocrite. You know, look at his time in AEW, what he said about WWE. Now, I'm a massive fan of CM Punk. I think he's absolute money, he's absolute gold, and he's killed it upon his return, and his feud with Drew McIntyre is just absolutely electric, and kudos of course to Drew for making that possible too. But CM Punk, is he being a phony? We've got this babyface version of CM Punk, but deep down, in the inside of CM Punk, we know there's that heel version waiting to come out, the true CM Punk showing his colours, but this time in pure kayfabe. I believe away from the scene, CM Punk is a better man, but in terms of his character, is he just a phony? Is he just playing us, the fans? And are we going to see the true self in CM Punk come to light? Are the Wyatt Sicks going to make that happen? And I think, on a personal level, a heel version of CM Punk with more layers is far more compelling than a babyface, which inevitably is going to run its course. Now, you're probably looking at the thumbnail and thinking, how on earth has he not mentioned it yet in this video? But surely the Wyatt Sicks are going to have some form of connection with Randy Orton. Randy Orton was Bray Wyatt's arch nemesis, I suppose you could say. One of the best rivalries, in my personal opinion, in WWE. I mean, Randy Orton literally burnt down the Wyatt family compound. He betrayed the Wyatt family, came out of the Wyatt family to then take Bray Wyatt's WWE title at WrestleMania 33. And obviously WrestleMania 37 happened. Randy Orton scurried away, taking advantage of the Alexa Bliss distraction and costing the Fiend his matchup on the grandest stage of them all. Now, at the moment, Randy Orton is a babyface, and it seems like all is gravy for Randy Orton. But we know the true Randy Orton, the real Randy Orton. Randy Orton fully embracing the darkest version of himself, and that is heel Randy Orton. Few can argue that heel Randy Orton is not the best version of Randy Orton there can be. Think back to 2009 when Randy Orton was literally punting the skull of the likes of Vince McMahon, Triple H, tying Stephanie McMahon up. I mean, it was pretty sadistic. That side of Randy Orton is there. And they have already very, very cheekily, very, very cleverly hinted at a future Randy Orton Cody Rhodes feud. Just the way that Randy Orton has been looking at Cody Rhodes' title. You know it's brewing, you know it's coming, and it might not be anytime soon, but it's gonna happen. And in order for that to happen, surely Randy Orton is going to be the one that turns heel. Maybe the Wyatt Sicks influence that. And I love the fact that the Wyatt Sicks can be this mid to upper card faction with these individual members, and obviously as a collective family unit, influencing storylines indirectly, getting Randy Orton to become the best version of himself, and that is heel Randy Orton. And then they could separately obviously have the Randy Orton Cody Rhodes storyline, but Randy Orton's new character change, or back to an old character which was absolute gold, was sparked via the Wyatt Sicks influence in that. And let's not also forget, with Randy Orton, he was the one to put Husky Harris on the shelf with that Punk kick. So you could go all the way back with some storytelling back to the Nexus days, like we discussed with the CM Punk storyline angle. Now, assuming down the line Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes have a matchup, which I'm sure they will, what if down the line in time the Wyatt Sicks influence Cody Rhodes? After all, Cody Rhodes was Husky Harris's pro way back when in NXT, when it was sort of a TV show format. Now, I know you might think, well, that's not really grounds to explore a storyline, but it's more about the character of Cody Rhodes. Yes, at the moment, he is one of the most over baby faces in the company. He is loved. You only need to go to the behind the scenes WrestleMania 40 build up, of course, on YouTube, to see how over Cody Rhodes is and was in the lead up to WrestleMania 40. I mean, for the fans to reject Rock versus Roman in favour of Cody finishing his story speaks volumes. But over time, characters evolve, characters change, and you don't want Cody Rhodes to come across as this sort of Captain America, Captain Invincible character, because over time, fans will resent that. At the moment, they're not, and Cody Rhodes still gets exceptional ovations when it comes to the WWE audience. But over time, that is going to change, and naturally the character of Cody Rhodes will have to evolve, and then maybe we see a darker version of Cody Rhodes, a heel version of Cody Rhodes brought out by the Wyatt Sicks. Maybe the Wyatt Sicks get in Cody Rhodes' head, flashing back to the Stardust gimmick, and then this anger and resentment builds up inside of him, maybe sometime after he's lost the WWE Undisputed title, and then we see a transition in character from Cody Rhodes with more layers to his character. It'd be very, very interesting. Now, I'm not saying the Wyatt Sicks needs to target everyone to turn them heel. Quite the opposite, really. I think it's more about bringing out the best versions of the characters. Like with Chad Gable is a heel. The Wyatt Sicks are trying to get him to do better, to do good. So it's not always going to be they just turn people heel. But if the character fits and the storyline fits, then why not? Another character that the Wyatt Sicks could also influence is Braun Strowman, of course, former Wyatt family member. A lot of fans actually wanted Braun Strowman to be part of the Wyatt Sicks, and it looks unlikely at this point, but never say never. Faction members can come and go, and also the fact that they've named the Wyatt Sicks, spelt the Wyatt Sicks S-I-C-K-S, instead of having it as the figure 6, there's room for manoeuvre, there's room for more members. But I do think 6 members is more than enough in a faction, assuming that Alexa Bliss is going to be the 6th member. But Braun Strowman can be influenced via the Wyatt Sicks, almost in a brotherly way, with the links and throwbacks to Eric Rowan and Braun Strowman, of course, both being part of the Wyatt family. Maybe it's a loving connection, a family connection there. Who knows? And not to mention the one that a lot of people are talking about, the obvious one, is of course this new bloodline led by Solo Sikoa as the head of the table. Now, for the moment, I don't think we're going to see that explored, but maybe next year's Survivor Series War Games, what about the new bloodline versus the Wyatt Sicks? That would be absolutely money. You could explore so many avenues there with that storyline, and there could be so many layers to it. It would be absolutely unreal, but I think this is certainly going to be over time. At the moment, it's all about the Roman Reigns return in relation to the new bloodline, a potential babyface Roman, which we will be actually covering in our next video coming up on Sunday. Now, if Alexa Bliss is a 6th member, there is multiple angles, multiple avenues they could go down with Alexa. There's been talk about Alexa potentially becoming a female version of the Fiend. Was that in Bray Wyatt's vision? Were there going to be the Fiend played by Bray Wyatt and the Fiend female version played by Alexa? We know there was going to be an evolved version of the Fiend. We saw that in the Bray Wyatt documentary. Could Alexa play a female version of the Fiend? Or will she play the role of Lily, the Lily doll? We don't know. But I certainly think there's 3 major names that Alexa Bliss could be involved with. Charlotte Flair, because she destroyed the Lily doll. Bianca Belair, because you picked right where you left off at the Royal Rumble. Of course, Alexa Bliss getting humiliated, destroyed by Bianca Belair, and Uncle Howdy claiming that he was the one in control. We haven't seen Alexa Bliss since on WWE TV. Or potentially Bayley. Both Bayley and Bianca were in that video game in the lead up to the Uncle Howdy faction reveal. Also, if you go way back when, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, when they were women's tag team champions, lost to Sasha Banks and Bayley. And I find it interesting that both reigns that Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross had as tag team champions were 62 days. I find that really, really peculiar. Remember what Bayley also said in the lead up to the Bray Wyatt return of Extreme Rules 2022. She mocked Alexa Bliss, claimed she was a shadow of her former self. All this lily doll business was ludicrous and that she needed to get back to the powerful, dominant Alexa Bliss. Bayley, the character Bayley, is a bit of a hypocrite because she turned her back on the fans. She was no longer a hugger. And now, without any real explanation, she's embracing the fans again after being a villainous heel as part of and leader of Damage Control. So she's a bit of a hypocrite. Uncle Howdy hates liars. Uncle Howdy hates manipulators. Could Alexa Bliss and the Wyatt Sicks target Bayley? But overall, I think this faction is going to be presented as a dominant faction. They are going to be a big deal. And down the line, when the time's right, and it might be 2 years down the line, some championships will come the way of the Wyatt Sicks. I would not be surprised if they went all in, like they did with the Judgment Day, and have pretty much all the gold on the Wyatt Sicks. Bo Dallas is a former NXT champion. He held that title for 280 days. He's a former Raw Tag Team champion, alongside at the time Curtis Axel. He won that title from Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy at Extreme Rules 2018. And of course, he has so much potential in the ring. Bo Dallas can go at it in the ring. Or should we say Uncle Howdy can go at it in the ring. I think championship gold will come down the line, but not for now. It doesn't need to. The creative storytelling, the genius that we will follow will deliver on its own. But there's no need to rush to that. That will come in time. And maybe that never actually needs to be a thing. We'll just have to wait and see how creatively this faction plays out. But I think they're going to be part of multiple storylines, multiple individual superstar stories. And that's really how it should be, because they're always involved. They're always part of storylines in some capacity. That's personally how I would like to see it booked. But what do you think? Get down in the comment section, share your thoughts and opinions, and as always, it'd be very much appreciated if you could like the video, share the video, and even better, subscribe if you're new, and we'll catch you in the next one.